Hey everyone, trying this again. It's the eve of Auburn versus Kentucky. Pretty big game. How's everybody doing tonight? If you're out there, doesn't seem to be a lot of people joining these. Used to have a lot of folks join these, but not anymore. What's up, everybody? Hello. Hmm. So Auburn basketball faces Kentucky tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, inside Auburn Arena. It's a sellout, of course. Um, I look like a late night DJ, R&B DJ. I wish, man. Um, I would be pretty bad at it. So yeah, basketball's on everybody's minds. Big game against Kentucky. Auburn's a 8.5 point favorite. It's kind of crazy to think, considering Auburn beat Kentucky 2 years ago, and it was the first time in like 18 tries Auburn had beaten Kentucky, and now like everything's kind of flipped. Auburn's the favorite, and should be, obviously leading the SEC. It's going to be an interesting game. Ethan wants to know if I have a prediction for the game. I said 80-75 Auburn, but we'll see. I mean, it's a very dangerous game for Auburn. Very dangerous. Am I taking any requests? Sure, I'll take requests. What should I be listening to? Because I don't listen to music other than like old soundtrack music and stuff. Parker says basketball's on my mind. Sure. Austin says he's digging the new setups. You know, this whole lighting thing isn't on purpose. It's just that when I turn the overhead light on, I I look like a ghost, just sheet white because I'm so pale. And actually, the lighting in here is from. I would be completely in the dark if I didn't turn the TV on, so it's on the input, so it's cascading a blue light, and then my PC desktop over here has a red light on it, um, emanating from it, and so like the two are mixing, and I'm actually getting a kind of a cool effect I wasn't quite expecting. It does look like I should be in a club, doesn't it? Um, but totally coincidental. But it doesn't look too bad. It's pretty good um, for late night chats by the fire. And you can see my one of my bookcases back here. I got a 12th man towel that I stole or borrowed when Auburn played Texas A&M. They were just laying around, so I picked one up. I like to collect things. Over here on the left side, it's out of frame, but I got a lot of press passes over the years that I've kept. I've thrown away so many, but I should have kept a lot of them, but I didn't. Of course, I got the BCS National Championship press pass over there. New Year's Six press passes. Couple NFL combines. What else I got over there? I'm trying to think. What else have I been to? I've been to a lot of stuff, but I just can't remember it now. Regionals, super regionals. Parker says Beemore likes to write hidden messages in his black light room. I do not. Although that would be cool, like every night if I had a board up here and it had a different message. But I don't know if I'll do that. Yeah, of course. I don't know if I still have my Kick Six. Well, there wasn't an individual press pass for the Kick Six game. I just had a seasonal pass, which let me into all the games. So I don't have one for that game, Austin. How much baseball coverage do we do? Plenty. Philip Marshall covers baseball mainly. That's his baby. Same with softball. I kind of stay out of it. And basketball is Mike Niselik's baby, and I kind of stay out of that, but I also help out when needed. And, you know, so I'm pretty much just trying to run the site right now, come up with some ideas. I'm developing a few things right now that aren't necessarily, you know, newsprint, so to speak, writing. I'm developing a couple of projects that I hope people enjoy, particularly our subscribers. So we've been working on that quite a bit. Hopefully it works out over the next few months and people like it. And then, of course, just keeping up with football. Football comes back. I mean, I'll tell you, football will be here just in a couple of weeks. I'm actually starting a football series tomorrow. So, and then, of course, I write any intel I get weekly in my 2 bits or 3 things I know, 3 things I think, and all that. So, AU recruiting wants to know my score prediction for tomorrow. He says, Wardham Eagle on that ass. I predict Auburn 80-75 over Kentucky. Austin wants to know, or don't want to know, he just says, enjoyed your thoughts on Tony Barbee and 2 bits, stay very honest. Thanks, appreciate it. I appreciate that. Kind of went more in depth even on the podcast this morning too. If you want to go check that out, go search for Auburn Undercover in iTunes or your favorite podcast machine. It's likely in the feed there. You can find it. But you know, the only thing that sucks about tomorrow night's game is that it's 8 o'clock. It's a late game. It'd be great if it was 6. I think there'd be more fan. I mean, I think it's going to be a sellout. I just don't think the place will be. There'll be some empty seats. There always is at 8, but it'd be better if it was 6. Best coach: Bruce Pearl or Gus Malzahn? Well, Gus Malzahn's coached a team to a national championship game. Bruce Pearl has not, but Bruce Pearl's been to a couple of Sweet 16s, Elite 8s, and he's obviously got Auburn basketball to heights at this point that Auburn hasn't had since the 80s, really, if you want to think about it, as far as what he's building right now. I know you want to say late 90s, but I kind of compare this to what happened in the 80s. I'd say Gus Malzahn by an inch right now. So the doors really don't open for the students till 6:30 tomorrow night? That's interesting. I figured that would be earlier. I'm sure Bruce will probably try to walk outside and talk to you guys. I saw he was on campus today, like handing out something, some pieces of paper to students, and Bruce is big time into being a salesman, walking out there and doing that stuff. I don't think you'd ever see Gus Malzahn doing that for, trying to get students to go to games. But Bruce is very hands-on with stuff. Yeah, they should really open the doors for students like 2 hours before the game. I don't know about that 90-minute thing. Maybe 2 hours. That's weird. That really is weird. How do they work it with students? Because I've only been to a few games this year, and I've watched a lot of them on TV. So is it like first come first serve? Obviously, people just rush in. That's the point in getting in line. How early do folks get in line for outside for the student section? Because I see those lines are very long waiting outside. That's what he was doing, Austin. Yeah, Bruce Pearl, Austin says, he was handing out sports schedules for the other sports for this spring. Type of guy Bruce Pearl is. He's trying to promote other sports. While his basketball team is doing well, he's trying to, promote gymnastics, baseball, softball. Good for him. You know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, as Martha Stewart would say. So is the audio still not matching my lips tonight? I need to know that. Because the audio wasn't matching my lips last night, and it's bothering me. I'm using a soundboard. If the soundboard's not working properly, I need to figure something out. It might be the USB cable. I don't know. I'm a newbie on a lot of this stuff. Audio's good. Is it matching my lips though? Because it. Cool. Audio and lips are fine. That sounds very weird. People watching the Olympics right now? Anybody watching the Olympics? It's in sync tonight. Awesome. Good. I hope so. I changed some settings on the output. Good to hear. So, raise your hand or say so if you are a member of AuburnUndercover.com. Because if you're not, you should be. You should go do that. Like right now, you should go sign up. That would be awesome. Any questions? Anybody got any questions? I'll answer just about anything. You're going to be scouting out the student line at 9 a.m. tomorrow? Does it really start that early? Because if it does, I might go out there with a camera and take some video and photos or something. That's interesting. Do I have a discount code? No, I mean, we just got done with like a huge membership drive. So if you missed that, you got to pay full price now. But we were doing unreal discounts through signing day and everything. Ethan wants to know, is Bryce Brown good to go? We didn't get any official word or anything today, but in my opinion, he's going to play Tuesday night or Wednesday night against Kentucky. So some lines start like at 3 for like an 8 o'clock game. That's pretty impressive. I remember when I was in college, I stood in a line, I don't know how long, but we got in the stadium 4 hours before kickoff for a student game when I was going to school at Arkansas. Arkansas was nationally ranked in the top 10 at the time, and they were hosting Tennessee, which was top 15. Gus Malzahn was actually the offensive coordinator at Arkansas that year, and it was a huge game. College game day was there. So, but yeah, I know what that's like. We stood in line for maybe an hour and a half, and then got in 4 hours before the game, and it was freezing cold. It was like 15 degrees, and we had to sit there in the stands in the shadow for like 4 hours before the game. It was brutal. So I feel you guys. Much like fans like standing in line for a sporting event, you know, I'd stand in line for like a huge movie I loved or something, maybe. But there's really no big huge movies that I love anymore. Yeah, not a lot of students show up for baseball, do they? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I went to a single baseball game last year. Maybe a couple. Went to more softball than anything. The crazy thing is, like, I watch like practically everything, or at least keep tabs on every single event that's going on, so I know what's happening. It's just that I'm not there at the time, or you know, I got other things to do, trying to juggle on my plate. But you know, understandably, like football and basketball are our main focus year round, and recruiting, obviously. And but Keith's all over recruiting. Keith Niebuhr for us. Yeah, that's what I hear about Casey. What's the lineup going to look like? That's what I want to know. I know Philip Marshall. I haven't been able to read it yet, but I know he posted up what the rotation and everything's going to look like. for Auburn. I was wondering what the lineup looks like. Um, Butch Thompson, I think, is going to get done here at Auburn. He's just impressive. I covered him for a few years at Mississippi State. Mississippi State baseball, as you guys probably know, was huge there, and so we pretty much covered that like it was football when football ended. And so I was at every weekend series. We went to some, midweek games, but I covered that quite a bit. And it's weird. I have not talked to Butch Thompson since he's been hired here. He probably doesn't even remember me. But I've sat in his office a couple times there at Mississippi State and talked to him. Will Holland at short, Luke Jarvis. Yeah, that new Duty Noble field looks amazing. I was surprised they're actually opening it this season. I thought it was going to take longer to build, but I guess they're still building it, but they're going to be able to play some games there in March. Is Jeremy Johnson going to play this year in baseball? Obviously not the football Jeremy Johnson, but the other Jeremy Johnson. The only Jeremy Johnson that's on campus now playing a sport. Yeah, that's an impressive. It's impressive what they're doing at Mississippi State with their baseball stadium, and they needed to. They really fell behind. They were about 15 years behind because of the. They didn't have a concourse. It was just all cement, And the concourse was. They didn't have an open concourse where you could still see the field. You had to go behind the stands to go to the concourse and all that. But the left field lounge it's unmatched. I think in college baseball, it's amazing. An incredible scene. Jeremy Johnson might play outfield a fair amount this year. Outfield is the one area Auburn's lacking. Tanner Burns, that number one recruit that came in, he could play outfield, right? But he's going to solely focus on pitching, I saw. So that's interesting. Obviously, his future is pitching. That's what major league teams want to see him do this season. So, hey, he gave up possibly being a high draft pick to come to Auburn. So, let him do what he wants. Let him be a pitcher. But that baseball team will be fun to watch. It'll be interesting to watch. SEC's just stacked, at least on paper this year. So, it's going to be tough. And Auburn's got some really, not just tough series, obviously, playing in the SEC, but some tough road series this year. So. Let me ask you guys a question. Auburn's got 6 basketball games remaining before the SEC tournament. They're up 2 games on Tennessee and Florida for the SEC title at this point. 6 games remaining. How many of those 6 games do you think Auburn's got to win the SEC title? I think they've got to win 4. Because either Tennessee or Florida, I think, are going to win out, in my opinion. And so Auburn's got to go 4-2. Tennessee and Florida meet later this season. Rich says 3, James says 5, Ethan says 4. The problem for Auburn would be if it, won 4 games, but it lost to Florida and Florida won out, then Florida would have the tiebreaker, I believe, right? It'll be interesting to see if Tennessee or Florida lose again. Yeah, Bama is playing very well right now, Rich. They beat the crap out of LSU tonight, but LSU's not very good right now. But Bama's playing well, and actually, more than anything, the thing you should take from that Bama win tonight was, they've been struggling in midweek games, and then they beat top 25 opponents. They've beaten 5 straight top 25 opponents, a second in the nation amount of top 25 wins they have. So Bama's very dangerous. This stretch coming up is huge for Auburn for a lot of reasons, but also I think it's the toughest of the season for Auburn. Yeah, 2 games, and Auburn's got the tiebreaker against Tennessee because Auburn beat Tennessee by 10 points on January 2nd to open the SEC schedule. So, and they don't meet again in the regular season. So Auburn's got the tiebreaker there. That's funny, Hirsch. Um, you say Parker says he bets Bruce Pearl's loving Calipari's fall from grace this year. Not. I mean, Bruce has his own things to worry about. Number one being beating Coach Cal this year. Has the Chuck Person fiasco had a large negative effect on recruiting? I think it's affected it. Yeah, Auburn's kind of hit the reset button after that all went down, and they got like a commitment from one kid that they weren't even expecting. But other than that, they've kind of, they don't have really any seniors on the roster, so they're kind of just taking a step back to look. But I don't think. Maybe in a year we'll know. But yeah, I think it's definitely affected Auburn. Plus they're down, 3 staff members, excuse me. Chuck Person out, and then the 2 other guys, Jordan Verhulst and why am I forgetting? It's Frankie Sullivan on administrative leave. I think Austin Wiley comes back next year. I don't know. I think it's a coin toss. Coin toss, not coin toss. Coin toss. We'll see. South Carolina lost a lot. Frank Martin teams just are difficult to defeat. They were close with Tennessee a little bit. I guess it was about 15 minutes left in the game. They were within striking distance, and Tennessee pulled away. Carolina's dangerous. I'm telling you, all the teams remaining on Auburn's schedule are dangerous. They really are. If you could do a Barry White voice, yeah, I can't do a Barry White. Can't do that. So what are you guys' predictions for the Kentucky game tomorrow night? What you got? Yeah, Florida. Arkansas is playing well at home right now. They went to Ole Miss, I think, tonight and beat them by double digits. But, Ole Miss is playing with a lame duck coach right now with Andy Kennedy on his way out. Parker says Auburn beats Kentucky by 7. Yeah. Austin says Auburn by 5 to 10. So everybody's going pretty much with the spread. Spread's 8.5 points. Auburn by 8.5. I don't know if it's changed since I last saw it earlier tonight, but it was 8.5 points. So, man, life could have been easier if Auburn just beat A&M. Need as much breathing room as you can get down the stretch here. Some guy from Kentucky said it was Auburn by 10 on betting line. Not the betting line I saw. He might be looking at another. There's so many sports books out there, but the one I saw was 8.5. I was looking at Sports Line and Vegas Insider. Both had 8.5. It'll be interesting. Kentucky's probably going to play the underdog card in that locker room heading into the game against Auburn. That's interesting. Going to be interesting. KY Sports Radio. Yeah, is that Matt Jones guy? He's very popular up there. Ethan says Auburn should be 12-0 in the SEC, to be honest. I'd say 11-1. They lost that Alabama game legitimately. They made a big comeback, but they should have won the A&M game. Yeah, Cal hasn't had 4 straight. Coach Calipari hasn't had 4 straight losses since 2005 when he was at Memphis. And this would be his first. He's one of only 3 coaches I read today in Kentucky basketball history that have ever had that have never had a 4-game losing streak in their career. Yeah, Hirsch, that's the thing. You're going to have one player pretty much every night go off. That's usually how college basketball works. For A&M, it could be Robert Williams. Robert Williams is amazing. But you got to combat that. I mean, Alabama was also without Colin Sexton that night. So, just got to play better defense and have better counterattack. I like Tubby Smith. Where is Tubby now? Is he still coaching? Oh, wait, he's at Memphis, isn't he? That's right, he's at Memphis. How's recruiting going at Memphis? Listen, basketball's like you get 2 good recruiting classes and you're set, or even 1 if it's a lot of really good guys like Kentucky does. Austin, I tend to agree with that. That the Alabama game might be louder and better than the Kentucky game tomorrow night. It's very possible. Plus, Auburn gets the trophy back for the Iron Bowl. That'll be fun at halftime of that game. Yeah, I agree, Hirsch. This game sets up for Kentucky because they've got a lot of motivation. This isn't a team that looks like it's quit, obviously, during this 3-game losing streak. I mean, they mounted a pretty good comeback against A&M because A&M got up 22 in that game, and they were within striking distance late, but never really had a chance. But still, we'll see. You gotta be a great recruiter to be successful in basketball. So unless you're one of the blue bloods in basketball, you better be a great recruiter. Otherwise, you're not going to get the talent you need to be very successful, like Memphis right now. And Memphis over the last few years, honestly, including when Josh Pastner was there and replaced John Calipari. I think it's possible Bruce Pearl gets an extension or raise after the season. Only after talking to the NCAA in Auburn, and if they determine that he's in the free and clear with the Chuck Person investigation or anything else they want to talk about. Yeah, Memphis is great. AAU basketball. Yeah. It's great. Then Auburn's been able to go to Georgia, get some really good recruits, obviously. So, I'm Austin says all the transfer talk looking to change is one and done next. I don't know. I haven't heard a lot of talk about that. The transfer stuff's interesting and it should pass, in my opinion. If a coach gets fired, a player should be allowed to transfer if they have meet certain academic requirements. Transfer immediately and go to a school and play immediately. Yeah, Penny Hardaway, isn't he coaching at a high school in Memphis? They've got he's won 2 state titles there. I think I was reading. Might win a third this year. His name's been attached to the Ole Miss job. Penny Hardaway, uh, based on what I read at the Ole Miss Spirit on 247sports.com. Do you think that someone would hire him though in college? That'd be a big jump, huge jump. I mean, the only place I can think of right now, and this is college football, by the way, where they have hired a high school coach as a head coach, I think was at UNLV within the last few years, right? Yeah, East High School in Memphis. That's it. Parker, yep. Yeah. I don't know. That'd be a. I don't know if they. I don't know. Maybe Tony Barbee could be the next head coach at Memphis. Hmm. Yeah, Tony Barbee. Man, it's gonna be fun watching him walk into Auburn Arena tomorrow night. Oh boy. So, all right. Well, one or two more questions if you guys have them. I'm gonna jet. Gonna try and do this more regularly. Did one last night as a test. Austin asked, "Do you think Tony Barbee's really coming tomorrow?" According to, I think I saw read on SEC Country that he is coming to Auburn tomorrow. So you will see Tony Barbee standing and sitting there on the Kentucky bench with a piece of paper in his hand. Yeah, he skipped the game 2 years ago to go recruit, and Auburn won that game. Uh, he's apparently not skipping this game. I have no idea, Parker. No clue. I used to do these all the time during football season. Year or two ago, they're pretty popular, and then stopped because we did Facebook Lives instead. But I'm gonna try and do this a little bit in addition to our Facebook Lives we do after games and everything. So, for example, after the game tomorrow night, we'll probably do a Facebook Live, but it'll be real late, obviously. Be after 11 o'clock or whatever around that time at the arena, the Auburn Arena. All right, thanks, Austin. Appreciate you too. If you go to the game, I'm trying to think of some interesting story ideas to do for the basketball game. I don't know. Tell James you'll buy him a bottle of Ciroc. I think that's the vodka James likes. I can't remember. If James was watching this, he'd be able to answer. But I don't think he's watching. I think it is. So when I rub it out with him, if he wants a Red Bull and vodka, I think it's Ciroc. Or I might be wrong. I like Grey Goose personally, but I don't drink vodka very much. I don't drink very much at all. I probably have a drink once a month, if that. Any Auburn players that were looked at by Kentucky or have ties to Kentucky? This might just because of my limited knowledge with the recruiting and everything. I don't think so. But I'm probably wrong there, but I might not be. Nothing sticks out. I'm trying to think. Maybe Mustafa Heron, but I don't remember his name coming up with Kentucky. I don't think so. So, yeah, I hear you, Hirsch. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was thinking more like, I don't know. I've got some ideas that aren't necessarily tied around a game, but it's just a matter of whether we can actually do it. Oh, Austin Wiley was recruited by Kentucky. Well, can't talk to him. He's off limits, and he's not playing, obviously. So can't do that. Okay, everybody. I guess I'm gonna jet. Have a good night. I'm going to start doing some research and start writing this football series piece I'm starting tomorrow. Also, our series on recruits who immediately helped Auburn in the Gus Malzahn era continued tonight. That's up at auburnundercover.com. I posted my Two Bits column at auburnundercover.com earlier today, so go check that out. Plus, we got a lot of we got baseball coverage, basketball coverage. Should have a pretty special basketball story going up on the site tomorrow from Mike Nizelik. And, of course, coverage of the Kentucky game. But a lot of stuff going on, of course, recruiting. Yeah, Parker, I wish I had a discount code for you. I don't. We had a big sale going on. You should have jumped on it then, but I don't know when we're going to have another one. But as it stands now, you can sign up for $9.95 a month. It's a pretty good deal. But I understand if you're in college, not being able to swing that. I understand. We also have plenty of free content too. So, such as our podcasts and a lot of stories. But anyway, thanks everybody. I appreciate you joining me. Go to auburnundercover.com or auburn.247sports.com for more coverage, complete coverage. And I'll be back on Periscope at some point. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not, but just keep it close. Austin says $9.95. I thought it was $11.95. I think it's a different package. We have a package now. It's $9.95. If you go look, I believe it's a monthly plan. There's separate levels of VIP. You have to go read about it on our subscription page. A student code would be awesome. Hirsch says. I've mentioned that before. Haven't really got anywhere with it. Obviously, 24/7 is a bigger network than just Auburn, so we'll see. But want to count on that happening anytime soon. But anyway, thanks guys, appreciate it. I will see you guys down the road. See you at the Kentucky game. Have fun tomorrow night if you're going. Have fun watching the game, and have a good Wednesday, Valentine's Day.